Hey, I'm Brandon, and this is the Dirt Church Devotional. I want to share something with you today. I don't know how many times this has happened to you. Be reading through the Bible, you've read it a dozen times, you've read the same verse, and something just jumps out and you go, whoa! So that's what happened to me recently. And what I want to read to you, it's interesting because probably a lot of you have heard this, and we hear it in a different context, and it's very encouraging. But listen to this. This is out of John chapter 14. This is at the Last Supper, and Jesus is saying to his disciples, he says this, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I'm going there to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place, I'll come back to take you with me, that you may also be where I am." Cool stuff, right? Don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God and trust in me. That's super encouraging. Here's the deal. This is, you know what? That's all shiny. It's not just my head. Anyway, this is what I want to point out to you. Do you realize that John chapter 14 comes right after John chapter 13? Now, you're probably saying, well, duh, it should. Look at what's in John chapter 13, the last verse 38. This is Jesus speaking to Peter. Jesus answered, "Will you really lay down your life for me? I tell you the truth, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. Now, get this. There were no chapters and verses in the Bible when it was originally written. Those weren't put in until the mid-1500s. Okay, so this was written as a letter, and it's important for us to keep this in context. Jesus is having this discussion with his disciples, and particularly with Peter, because they've just found out that one of them is going to sell Jesus out, and Peter's like, "Not me, man. I'll go to death with you. I'm ready to die." And Jesus tells him, "Peter, no, you're not. You're going to deny even knowing me." "Oh no, I won't, Lord. I won't deny you. I'm gonna fight and die." Jesus said, "No, Peter. You're going to deny that you know me even 3 times before the rooster crows." All right. That's kind of a bummer. Right after that, like in the same breath, or maybe Jesus stopped for a second for dramatic pause, takes a breath, and then he says what we read in chapter 14, "Don't let your hearts be troubled." Now, can you imagine how Peter felt, how the wind was just sucked out of his sails, Jesus saying, "You're going to deny knowing me." Jesus' follow-up was, "Look, don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God, trust in me." Here's the deal, and here's how I want to place the challenge to you and wrap it up to you. Peter did deny Jesus. We know that. He denied that he knew him. But you know what? He had every intention of doing it right. I mean, think about it. He's the one that drew down on the soldiers, on the guards in the garden. He's the one that drew a sword. You don't draw down on soldiers unless you're ready to go to battle, unless you're ready to die. He did that. But later in the courtyard, when he was asked by a young servant girl, he kind of freaked out and he failed and he denied 3 times. But here was the point that Jesus was making to Peter, and the point that I want to make to you today. He also told Peter, he says, "When you return, strengthen your brothers." Jesus knew that Peter was going to have the chance to come back. He was going to have the chance to return, and that God was not finished with him. Jesus wasn't finished with him. Don't let your failures define you. All right? We're all going to fail. We all fail in many ways. Don't let your failures define you. Rather, let the grace of Jesus Christ and the forgiveness of God, let that be the definer. All right? You have a great day. Chew on that, and we'll talk to you some other time. Oh, by the way, looking forward to having a Dirt Church ride either the last Sunday of June or the first Sunday of July, and we're going to try and get some things going regular. So stay tuned. We'll get that figured out. All right, now have a great day.